My cherished child, I am the one who laid the foundations of the earth, who painted the skies with light, who breathed life into you with a purpose that echoes through eternity. And I come to you now with a truth that beats at the heart of our bond. When you work, and when you pray, I work. These words are not a mere saying, but a rhythm of grace, a dance of divine and human hands, a promise that I am with you in every toil and every trust. I see you, right where you stand, in the sweat of your labor, in the quiet of your pleas, in the moments you lift your hands or bow your heart. And I say to you, I am here partnering with you, moving through you, working for you. I am the God who shaped a garden and called a man to tend it, who built a boat through a faithful hand, who raised a nation from a shepherd's staff. When you work with me, and when you pray, I work through you. So lift your eyes, my child, for I am in your every effort and every cry. I know the days when your hands grow weary, when the task looms large, when the plow feels heavy in the soil. I see the sweat you pour, the plans you sketch, the love you weave into all you do, and I am with you. When you work, and I delight in it. I fashioned you to create, to build, to serve, to reflect. My image in the dust of this world. I watched a man raise an ark under a cloudless sky, a woman stitch a tent for my glory, a boy offer his bread to feed a throng. Your work is not small to me, not unseen, not alone. When you rise to labor, when you bend to mend, when you strive to sow, you work, and I am there blessing the hands that move, guiding the heart that beats, strengthening the spirit that presses on. So keep going, my beloved. Your work matters, and I am in it. I know the moments when your strength falters, when the field yields thorns, when the harvest seems far. But I say to you, when you work, and when you pray, I work. I am the one who sent rain to a parched land, who grew a vine from a mustard seed, who turned a widow's oil into abundance. Your effort is your part, and your prayer is mine. Do you feel the strain of the load, the grind of the day, the ache of the task? I see it, and I am here. When you lift your voice, when you bend your knee, when you whisper my name, I work. I move mountains, I calm storms, I open doors no hand can shut. So work with all your might, my child, and pray with all your heart. Together we labor, and I am your power. I see the battles you face, the weariness that tempts you to drop, the doubts that taunt your toil, the fears that shadow your steps. And I am with you. When you work, giving what you have, and when you pray, I work, giving what I am. I have led a people through a sea, built a wall with a trowel and a sword, raised a temple from ruins. Your hands plant the seed, and my hands bring the rain. So when the soil hardens, when the wall crumbles, when the dream staggers, keep working. Your labor is not in vain. And keep praying. I am at work. I know the voices that challenge. Why this struggle? Why this wait? Why this silence? But I say to you, when you work, and when you pray, I work. I am the God who turned a desert into a path, a prison into a palace, a cross into a crown. Your effort meets my will, your cry meets my strength, your trust meets my triumph. So when the night presses, when the load bends, when the way blurs, trust me. Work your part, pray your plea. I am working. I see the moments you doubt, when the sweat seems wasted, when the prayer feels unheard, when the heart grows heavy. But I am the one who does not slumber, who does not turn, who does not fail. When you work with me. I watched a man fish all night with empty nets, a woman draw water in shame, a son carry wood to a hill. Your labor is your offering, and my eyes are on it. And when you pray, I work. I filled those nets at dawn. I met that woman with living water. I raised that son to life. So when you tire, when you wonder, when you waver, know this: I am with you. Your work is mine, your prayer is heard. I work. I know the tasks you carry, the fields you plow, the children you raise, the burdens you bear, and I am here. When you work, pouring your strength into the day. I have strengthened a mother to birth a nation, a shepherd to lead a flock, a disciple to cast a net. Your hands are my hands when you labor in love. And when you pray, I work. I have fed a prophet with ravens, healed a child with a touch, turned a storm to stillness. Your prayer is your bridge, and I cross it. So when the plow breaks, when the child strays, when the burden grows, keep working. I see you, and keep praying. I move. I see the world's weight, the injustice that stings, the sorrow that scars, the chaos that swirls, and I am with you. When you work, building, mending, sowing. I have watched a man rebuild a city's gates, a woman weave peace in a home, a son sweat for a world. Your labor shapes the dust, and when you pray, I work. I have toppled kings, freed captives, righted wrongs. Your hands lift the stone, and my hands roll it. So when the wrong persists, when the pain lingers, when the hope fades, work on. Your effort is seen, and pray on. I am at work. I know the weariness that tempts, the exhaustion that bids you stop, the despair that begs you rest. But I am your rest, your renewal, your reason. When you work, giving your all. I have carried a people through sand, lifted a man from a pit, strengthened a son through thorns. Your labor is your worship, and when you pray, I work. I have breathed life into bones, filled jars with oil, raised the dead. Your prayer is your power. So when your strength wanes, when your spirit sags, when your will bends, lean into me. Work with me, pray to me. I am your might. I see the moments you stumble, when the task fails, when the prayer falters, when the faith shakes. But I am here. When you work, offering what you can. I have taken a boy's sling, a widow's mite, a disciple's boat. Your effort is enough. And when you pray, I work. I have turned a staff to a serpent, a rock to a spring, a tomb to a throne. Your cry is my call. So when you fall, when you doubt, when you break, rise again, work on. I am with you, and pray on. I am working. I know the loneliness that grips, the quiet that deafens, the longing that aches. And I am here when you work, building with what you have. I have watched a man tend a vineyard, a woman bake for her kin, a son craft with wood. Your hands are my tools, and when you pray, I work. I have met a man in a cave, a woman at a gate, a son in a garden. Your voice is my joy. So when you feel alone, when the crowd thins, when the night stretches, work on. I see you, and pray on. I hear you. I see the hands you've raised, the effort you've given, the trust you've held, the love you've sown. And I am here when you work, planting seeds of faith. I have grown a tree from a seed, a nation from a man, a church from a few. Your labor is my field, and when you pray, I work. I have answered a cry with a son, a plea with a ram, a prayer with the Spirit. Your faith is my fire. So when the seed lies dormant, when the answer tarries, when the field waits, work on. I am with you, and pray on. I am working. I know the days you feel small, the world that towers, the past that accuses, the fear that binds. But I say to you, when you work, offering your gift. I have taken a stutterer's voice, a shepherd's rod, a boy's lunch. Your part is precious, and when you pray, I work. I have called a seed apart, a wall to fall, a grave to open. Your trust is my triumph. So when the giant looms, when the shame whispers, when the worth wanes, work on. I see you, and pray on. I move. I see the world through your soul, the beauty that lifts, the pain that presses, the hope that holds, and I am here when you work, shaping the day. I have watched a man build an ark, a woman weave a basket, a son heal a heart. Your hands are my hands, and when you pray, I work. I have turned a desert to a river, a night to a dawn, a death to a life. Your cry is my canvas, so when the beauty dims, when the hurt deepens, when the hope flickers, work on. I am with you, and pray on. I am working. I know the steps you've taken, the bold and the broken. I see the courage it takes to rise, to reach, to remain. And I am proud when you work, you work, giving your strength. I have strengthened a man to wrestle, a woman to birth, a son to bear. Your labor is my glory, and when you pray, I work. I have lifted a people to a land, a prophet to a vision, a son to a throne. Your faith is my field. So when the day tires, when the night encroaches, when the race drags, work on. I see you and pray on. I move. I see the finish, the joy ahead, the rest prepared, the home eternal. But even now in the dust and the dawn, I am your joy. When you work, sowing with me. I have planted a garden, a promise, a people. Your hands are mine. And when you pray, I work. I have harvested a nation, a church, a forever. Your heart is mine. So take my hand, my child. Work with me. Pray to me. When you work. And when you pray, I work. Your every breath is seen. Your every step is held. Your every moment is ours. I am your God, your partner, your power. Keep going. Together we work, now and always.